Good afternoon, traders. This is a live trade recap. I took 3 trades this morning right at the market open. I'm going to show you everything that happened in just a moment. First, I'd like to show you my screener, how I pick the stocks every day. I use my mid-cap stock screener. Make sure you click these 3 little dots. Click on modify, otherwise your filters will not be applied. There's my filters. Then I organize the list by volume. I'm only interested in the stocks with the highest volume, so I just stay on the first page. I don't scroll down and see what else is going on. And then I look for stocks that are in the green or positive percent change. They must be 2% or more for me to consider them. And then they also must meet my chart criteria. So let's take a look at the video and you'll see me go through the stocks. There was a lot of green stocks, but not a lot met my chart criteria. There's SPCE below the 200 MA on the daily chart. So that means that it gets rejected. Same thing with VIPS. If they're below the 200 MA in the daily chart, then they are likely trending down, or they are trending down in the long run, and you're less likely to get a 2R trade out of them. So let's see here. And then American Airlines, same thing, below the 200 MA. IQ, same thing. And then finally here comes Macy's, and Macy's is above the 200 MA. Let me see if I can show that here on the chart. Okay, yeah, there's Macy's. There's the 200 MA, so it is above it. So now what has to happen is it must be trading above the previous day or session high, and it is. I didn't get a chance to put a yellow line on the chart to mark that out, but it definitely is. You saw it as I moved the video back there. This was the previous high of the day, so it's obviously trading above that. That's a signifier of strength, and the setup is pretty nice, very bullish, looks very strong. And so now I just have to wait for the pullback to finish, and I take the first entry where a 1-minute candle makes a new high. Fast forwarding here. So it happens on this candle. So look at the high of this candle here. It is 22.95. I'm just waiting to see 22.96 or better, and then I trigger my hotkeys to get in. It's going to happen in just a moment here. Happens kind of suddenly. You can see it looks like there's no movement whatsoever, and then all of a sudden a bunch of buyers come in and push the price up, and it's going to break out over that candle, and you'll see me trigger my hotkeys. 22.91. We're waiting for 22.96 or better, so keep your eye on this bubble. 93. There's 94, 96. So it actually happens on the subsequent candle. But you could see how once it broke that level, it started popping. There was probably maybe stop losses there for people that were selling it short, and they were triggered and the price went up. So usually that's an indication that the price is going to continue. But we'll see what happens here. Again, I use my 2R calculator. I just put in my position, my stop loss, and that gives me my 2R profit target. If you're interested in that, you can download that from patreon.com/tradingarmor. Now I pull my profit target into place, and the trade is all done. I don't have to do anything. It will take care of itself at this point. There's only 2 outcomes. Either my stop loss gets hit or my profit target gets hit. No in between. That is all or nothing 2R trading. If I lose the trade, I lose one times my risk. If I win the trade, I win 2 times my risk. So it's a good 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio. Let's just fast forward here. So I get stopped out of that trade, which I always expect because I know based on I've done 86 trades now. The data tells me that my first trade is more likely to lose than any other trade that I take. So I'm prepared to lose that first trade. And there is something I'm going to do to mitigate that when I start trading with full position size, or I trade small caps with this test. That's another thing I'm thinking about doing. So this entry will not be allowed in the future, but I'm so close to finishing this test that I just figured it just makes more sense to keep doing what I've been doing. Otherwise, the data doesn't really make that much sense. So now this red line signifies the bottom of the ABCD pattern. If the price comes down it continues to come down and breaks that level, then I can no longer take a trade. But at this point, it has not. So my plan says that I must take the next entry, which is the next time a 1 minute candle makes a new high. Now that trade generally has a better than 50% chance of working out. And again, I know that because I've been tracking the data. I'm not just saying that because someone else did or that I read that in a book. So there's no reason not to take this trade. If I would stop trading after the first trade on every single trade I've taken so far in this test, I would be red on these results right now. But so far I am still green even after today. And that's only because I continue to trade up to 3 trades. So let's take a look at the next entry. Okay, so here we go. Let's back it up a little bit. So I'm hovering over this candle right now. The high is 22.78, so I want to get in at 22.79 or better. So I'm waiting to see that. There's 22.79. There was a little hesitation on my part. It wasn't intentional. I don't know if I looked away for a second or what, but as soon as I saw that I got triggered, I hit my hotkeys and got in. And again, move my stop loss up as quickly as possible because this thing could reverse and flush down and you could take a bigger loss than you need to. So that's essential to get the stop loss at least roughly in place. And then after it's in place roughly, you can look at the candlestick and figure out exactly where you want it. So now this trade is all taken care of. Again, just like before, either my profit target gets hit or I get stopped out at -1R. Let's fast forward a little bit and see what happens. I'm pretty confident this trade is going to work out. And it doesn't. And that happens. You know, this is a great example of a great setup, a really strong setup. All the criteria is met to take a trade and they fail and they stop you out. That's why we use stop losses. If I would have just kept that original entry that was, way up here and didn't have a stop loss in place and just been so confident in this setup, now I would be taking a much bigger loss if I took the stop lower. So let's go on to the next trade. So today's trades are a great example of good setups failing, and they do quite often, and that's why you need to use stop losses. And that's also why you need to have either a max loss per day or a maximum number of trades that you're allowed to take. I can only take 3 trades per day, and even when I lose all 3 trades, I lose less than 1% of my account, so it's less than most people's max loss. Let's see here. So I'm hovering over this candle. The high of this candle is 22.56. So now I need to see 22.57 or better to get in. So watch this bubble over here. There's 22.57. I trigger my hotkeys to get in, get filled at 22.58. And again, move that stop loss in place quickly and then kind of finalize it after the fact. So here I see the low of that candle is 22.51. And I didn't really like this 2250 level because that's such a obvious level that if the price comes back down to that level, there's a good chance that there's a lot of buyers there that'll have orders waiting to be filled at that 2250 level and the price will go up. And I don't want to get stopped out there, so I decided to move it down 1 more cent. 2249 makes a little bit more sense for a stop loss level. And you can see right now the price is pushing up. Again, using my 2-hour calculator. And now I have even more confidence in this trade because I know my third trade is generally more likely to work out than my second. So, but everything is all set and nothing else to do. If this trade works out, then I'm essentially break even on the day. But it doesn't. It stops me out too. And then that's just a sign to stop trading for the day because I've already taken 3 trades. They all failed. That's my max number of trades. No need to try to get the money back and make the loss bigger. I would be breaking my plan, which is an absolute no-no. You just cannot break your plan. You have to follow your plan 100% of the time. The market doesn't care that you lost all your trades. It will be happy to take more money from you if you continue to trade. So that's the end of the trading. All this is me adjusting my stop loss on my swing trade with SPXL. So again, it's unfortunate. Lost all 3 trades today, and they were all very strong setups, but they didn't work. And that's what happens sometimes. That's why you use a stop loss. Even with all those 3 losses, I'm still very profitable on this test trading, and I'll go over those results at the end of the week, and we'll see where we are. We have taken now 86 trades doing this test trading, so there's only 14 more to go. And when I'm done with this test trading, more than likely, there's two options. I could either go full position size on these mid-cap stocks, or what I think is going to be much more popular as far as what people want to see is trading small cap stocks. So I think I'm going to modify this plan slightly for small cap stocks, and then do another 100 test trades with small cap stocks, because no one watches these videos with these mid cap stocks. They're just not interested in trading these low risk stocks. So that's the plan so far. It may change, but that's where we're going. Just 14 more trades to go until we're done testing this mid cap stock strategy. All right, let me know if you have any questions. As always, go into every single trade with a plan and stick to it no matter what. You got to take your stop losses just like you saw me take them today 3 times in a row. It seems counterintuitive, but in the long run, that saves you money. I've tried it the other way, and I've always ended up red in the long run. And right now, I am green in the long run because I do things like take my stop loss. So take a small loss today so that you can be green overall in the long run. So always take your stop losses, honor your profit target, and maybe you too can be green in the long run. Take care.